Good morning. Good Saturday morning. Welcome to Sports Talk. Mike Powell putting his ears on. Glad to have you with us.
Better to hear you with.
Better to hear me with.
Yeah.
David, Mike, Brett, and Sullivan here to bring you up to date on high school football last night. The NFL is underway, 2 games in the books. College football, I don't know. I'm going to be totally honest with you right here. I do not know what the highlight games are today other than Texas at Michigan. I do know that.
I know a highlight game last night, and I wish Duke would play every game on Friday night now because they won again. Okay. Double overtime over Northwestern.
Over Northwestern.
26-20.
Didn't know nothing about it. Nothing about it.
I'd forgotten about it.
I got home last night late and spent the first 20 to 30 minutes trying to get back on Peacock so I could watch. And I never did. For some reason,
good game.
I could not get on
Peacock. I stream Peacock.
Yeah, I do too. And I watched Dan Patrick.
Mm-hmm.
But here's what happened. I could not get it. So I started thinking, well, the old VC box just might get it a different way. So I went to NBC in Philadelphia, and there it was. That's all I had to do. NBC in Philadelphia.
That's clever thinking.
Watched the game. Now, Mike and Brett and myself, we have our picks, our NFL picks, our season picks. But Brett and I already talked before Mike got here. We may have to make some adjustments because of the way the game ended last night. Did you see the way the game ended last night, Mike Powell?
Absolutely, because Jordan Love may need love because he got hurt.
But I've seen nothing on it.
I hadn't either.
So does that mean there's going to be tests?
I even watched the post game with the Green Bay coach.
Did you go to sleep?
Not much.
Did you interview him?
And he just said he doesn't know. He would not comment on the nature of the injury.
Yeah, all I've seen or read is that they don't know the severity.
He looked like he was in pain.
Injury. Yeah.
Now, that don't always mean the worst news, you know. Sometimes you can have the worst injury. You know, like if when you tear an ACL, you're not just automatically in pain right away. Some people are, some are not. But, you know, that's a devastating injury that keeps you out. Used to be a full year. Now about 8 months it's going to keep you out. It's going to keep you out the entire football season.
Oh yeah, it's a season ender whenever it happens.
But whatever happened to him last night, and it looked like he just kind of got folded up the wrong way.
Yeah, I got kind of hit from behind, and it was just a weird way that he got hit in a couple different areas.
So the question of the day is, who's the Packers' backup?
It's
because I have no idea.
Malik Willis. Out of Liberty.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's drafted by Tennessee a couple years ago. He might have even started a few games for Tennessee.
Rodney, do you know this Willis?
That's about all I can really say. I think he's kind of stocky. Like he looked kind of like a power runner at times.
He's not as stocky as Jared Lorenzo, would you say?
No, not quite that stocky.
Or the Statesville quarterback from last season. That was a big boy as well. Yeah, I wondered about that.
I mean, they won't be the same team if Love's not out there.
No, I have Green Bay going deep in the playoffs.
Yeah, I've already changed mine. I had them going to the Super Bowl, and I've changed it.
I had them as a playoff team, but I'm not changing it.
No, I'll leave them in the playoffs.
Yeah,
but I'm not. I'm taking them out of the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Well, you know. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Mine,
and I hope I'm wrong. I hope it's not that bad.
I don't have them in the Super Bowl, but I think I did have them in the NFC Championship game. Yes, I do. I got them in the NFC Championship game. So I would want to, I guess what we can do, since we don't know, is come back and either give a backup team today if Love is hurt, or come back next Saturday and say, with Jordan Love on the bench. It'd be my luck. I know how things work. They still get there, but I don't know how you can get there with a backup quarterback these days. Who is the best backup quarterback in the NFL? Which one would you trust the most? Is there anybody?
I don't really know.
Nobody.
Can you even think of them?
Nobody.
Well, Pittsburgh's got Wilson and Fields.
Oh, yeah.
So that's probably.
And we still don't know which one's
I would
the backup.
probably want Justin Fields out of all the backups in the league. He'd probably be my pick.
Yep.
'Cause I think Wilson's starting tomorrow.
See, you look at the Minnesota Vikings. Sam Darnold's the backup, but guess what? He's the starter
Yeah,
because of an injury.
and we'll see if he's
Preseason
how good
injury.
he is as a backup. I don't. He's.
I think he has one of the best quarterback coaching minds on his side. And the Vikings head coach name is it Mac?
I can't even remember who
Me
they
either.
hired.
I'm really impressed with him. He's been there a year or two now. McDonald?
Yeah, I think it is McDonald.
I think it's McDonald. But he is
By preseason injury, I assume you're talking about J.J. McCaffrey.
mm-hmm.
Right.
Yep.
Out of
for the
Michigan.
year. Out for the year. Usually a meniscus tear don't keep you out but about 6 weeks.
Yeah, it's,
But I don't know what
I was looking forward to seeing.
maybe a total tear.
I was looking forward to seeing him with Minnesota this year.
I still think that's going to be, in all of football, to me, that's going to be the funnest division to watch. Because Minnesota may be the worst team
Yeah.
in that division,
We
and
think-
they're not bad.
And Chicago's going to be much improved.
Chicago's much
You think.
improved. Green
Yeah, but
Bay
this-
with Love. And who am I
I was
leaving
going to
out?
say that
Detroit's loaded.
division might be a lot less fun to watch if Love doesn't play.
Yeah.
And Detroit's not a shoe-in, to get back to the NFC
Ooh. I
championship
hope so.
game.
Based
Well,
on my picks.
nobody's a shoe-in.
No.
I mean, not even the wonderful Kansas City Chiefs, who just can't seem to do any wrong. Let me ask you guys this question. I wanted to have a question this morning. I want people to weigh in. And good morning, Hooks. He's already talking to us this morning as well. My question is, and I'd like for people to weigh in, do you want to see the record-breaking 3 in a row by the Kansas City Chiefs, or are you ready for somebody different? That's simple. Do you want the Chiefs to win? Would you like to see the Chiefs do it? Because let me tell you.
Mixed emotions.
Yeah, I know. All the organizations, they are one of the classiest.
Mm-hmm.
They've got a classy team. I know everybody's got people that gets in a little bit of trouble. Every team goes through that. And they had a kid last year, wasn't it, that got in a car accident or something, and they ran. I can't remember his name, whatever. But every team goes through things like that. Okay, you're going to have them. But they got some of the classiest ownerships. The Hunt family.
Oh, yeah.
Then you got Andy Reid, who pulls against Andy Reid.
No,
I mean,
you can't.
It takes a bad person, I think, to pull against Andy. I tell you who pulls against Andy Reid: the Raiders, the Broncos, and the
Teams in the AFC
and the Chiefs,
West.
and the who am I leaving out? The Raiders,
The Chargers.
Chargers.
Yeah.
They're fans, and they have to.
Yeah.
But I still think that when he gets there and all that, he waited so long.
He's
to
a
get
very
there.
likable
He is
person.
He is, and Mahomes is even likable, even
Are
if
you
he's beating
kidding?
your butt once or twice a year. I mean, he's just fun to watch.
Yeah. Even in the commercials, I like him.
He's,
Yeah, I'm pulling for him.
he's fun to watch. He's not arrogant. He has a good time. He's just a
Yeah.
magician at the position.
I don't think my team's going to sniff the Super Bowl, so I would like to see the Chiefs do it.
And he's the best player on the planet. I mean, I don't think there's any major doubt about it right
But
now.
I've always
Yeah, and he
been
might go down as the best in
of all
history when it's
time.
all, when it's all said
before
and
he's
done.
over.
I've always been an Aaron Rodgers fan.
Mm-hmm.
And if it somehow came down to Chiefs and Jets to go to the Super Bowl, then I might pull for Rodgers in that situation. But in most scenarios, I think I'd pull for Kansas City.
Here's a good one. Hook says Travis Kelce is an A.
An A.
Especially when attacked his coach last year in a playoff game. Yeah, I remember that happening last year about getting him the ball, wasn't it? Jason says, number one, Russell Wilson is dealing with a calf injury and is questionable to play on Sunday. And he says, if Washington can't win the Super Bowl, I would want Kansas City to three-peat. So, and I think a lot of people feel that way. It's just it's an organization that don't have many haters.
No,
now, if they keep winning Super Bowls, that will create haters.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, there was a time New England didn't have any haters either.
Right.
I remember most people were real happy when New England upset the Rams and the Rams didn't win back-to-back. And that was New England's first Super Bowl, with Brady being, a second-year quarterback maybe?
Yeah, the greatest show on turf. That's right.
Yep, and they upset them. But it didn't take long for everybody to start hating the Patriots pretty quick, you know.
Yeah.
The Cowboys were hated at one time. The Steelers were hated at one time. You know, all those teams that put those runs together.
Now the Cowboys are merely pitied.
by a lot of people, yeah.
When's the last time they made a deep run in playoffs?
According to what you consider deep. They did go. I mean, if you win one game, you're.
Yeah. But
they haven't been at a championship. They haven't been in the NFC Championship since their Super Bowl years.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I guess I'm saying.
You'd have to say championship game to have a deep run, I guess.
You would. Yeah.
Even though
they have won one game.
You might have to win two to get to that championship. Some teams have to win two, don't they, to get to the. You have to win. Some teams have to win 4 games to be champions. Yeah.
Well, now only one team in each side gets a bye.
Right.
Think about all the teams that have made it to the Super Bowl since Dallas won it. It's just
a lot.
Yeah.
The majority
of teams.
Yep. More than 50% for sure. But that's one of those Cowboy fans hate that. But the rest of the world loves it.
Yep.
The NFC South is
had everybody
terrible. All 4 of them have been in the Super Bowl since Dallas did.
Yeah. Now, I love to hear Jerry Jones talk with the media. I mean, he's fun, but I think he's probably their biggest impediment to winning it again sometimes.
I can't tell you what it is. I mean, it's just something teams go through. Think about the Yankees went through a real long dry spell. They had the Don Mattingly years.
Mm-hmm.
Think about it. They went all those years without sniffing a championship as well. I don't think it's been as long as this has been, but they went maybe a decade without getting to a World Series.
Yeah, it's hard to do.
Yep. Hook says my son Rob Jr. is a Raiders fan, and I joke with him all the time about that team. Yeah, you know, the Raiders were once either loved or hated. Now the Raiders
forgotten,
have become irrelevant. You know, I mean, I don't know what it's going to take. You know, at one time Tom Brady was talking about becoming part owner with Mark Davis.
Yep.
And I haven't heard anything about that in a while, but it would not hurt them to get somebody with that much football knowledge in the house.
Yeah, given his contract now for doing TV broadcasting,
he's probably stuck, right?
Pretty well set.
What if you don't like it?
I know. He may not.
I mean, you know, is he in need of money? I wouldn't think so.
Is he with Fox?
Yep.
Is he going to be on there?
How much difference is it going to make if are you going to watch the game Brady is broadcast?
Well, if he's the best game of the week, then yeah.
That's it. Why do these guys go after these
I'm not going to watch it. I'm not going to watch a game just because it's
Why
Brady,
do the contracts go after these big time people and pay them bukus of money when football fans are going to watch the game they want to watch?
Yeah, regardless of who.
And if it's the only game in town, like Monday Night Football, man, they got to have Troy and Joe. Yeah. They just paid a king's ransom to get those two guys. Everybody's going to watch Monday Night Football anyway.
Yeah.
You know? If you watch it, you're going to watch it.
People are being paid $200 million for podcasts now. Joe Rogan, I think, got $250 million.
And I don't even know who that is.
I've heard of him.
I still prefer the Manning brothers Monday night coverage to the regular.
And I bet they're not getting the kind of money that
no.
Troy. And don't get me wrong. That's maybe my favorite football broadcast crew is Joe Buck and Troy Aikman. They do a great job, and I like listening to them.
They are my favorite.
But you don't have to bring that kind of people in to. All you're doing
the game Sells itself.
You know what it is? All it is wanting to outdo the other
Yeah,
networks.
it's a competition.
Outdo the other networks. We got these guys. Now what are you going to do? You know? Well, Monday Night Football has no competition.
None.
It don't matter who the broadcasters are. We live through.
How about Sunday Night Football?
We live through Jason Witten. Did it bother you?
Oh, really?
No. Watched the game. Watched every game. Every game he did. The ratings had to be high.
Yeah, let's go back in history. Who are some of the others we've lived through on Monday Night Football? Been some Dennis Miller.
Dennis Miller's first
boy.
first one came to my mind. Dennis Miller.
Whose idea was it to bring a comedian on the show?
Yeah. Well,
Although you need humor, but
he's got the best kind of humor, 'cause all sarcasm. He's really good at that.
Yeah.
But not changing my mind whether I watch it or not. You know.
They even had O.J. Simpson, didn't they? Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
Fred the Hammer. What was this? Let's see.
Fred the Hammer.
Williamson. Oh, he's an old Kansas City linebacker. He did it for a while.
I don't remember that one.
Can't think of his name.
Well, I remember.
The first I really remember are Al, Frank, and Dan.
Mm-hmm. Which was
Now,
Al
I might
Michaels.
Remember, Frank Gifford and Dan Deerdorf.
Dan Deerdorf.
Dan Deerdorf.
Deerdorf did
Yeah.
it a long time too.
He was pretty good.
Yep.
Yeah, they were a good. They were a good team.
Hook says they're probably paying Brady real well. I'm sure they are,
yeah,
because he
he's
would
good.
not tackle a thing like this if it was not for the big check. Do I blame him? No, I'd jump at it too.
Well, he's going to be good because
but he
just
don't-
Brady.
He's got so many ways he can make money.
Yeah.
He don't have to. This is an easy one though. All you got to do is prepare a couple days and then go in the booth.
That's right.
Jason says the hate for New England came about when they got caught spying on other teams' practices. He also says Brady is still in contention to join the Raiders ownership. However, it will severely affect his job as a broadcaster. He wouldn't be able to attend the other team's practices. He couldn't criticize officials on the air, nor coaches. Well, that'd make it tough for an analyst or any kind of broadcaster for that matter.
Yeah, because I admire frankness and telling it like it is above all things, and particularly in the color analyst, not so much the play-by-play guy.
Hook says, I didn't watch the Kansas City game because it looked like it was going to be a Swifty Chiefs game. Chef's game. Chefs, like they always put in the end zone. The Chef's game. Yeah, that's a really good and clever commercial. For some reason, I'll share this with you. Ned is sending me a picture of a pair of shoes that you guys would probably bid on. It looks like they're North Carolina Tar Heel shoes with Argyle designs. You into that? You wanting a pair of those? You sound so good in Chapel Hill. Proud dad moment. Check out these marching shoes. The band was gifted, so that's the
super.
band shoes. Congratulations!
All
there.
for the Tar Heel band since his daughter plays in it.
Lenny says Fred the Hammer Williamson and Dandy
That's
Don
right.
Meredith.
Yep, Fred the Hammer Williamson.
I can't even remember Fred the Hammer Williamson.
Kansas City linebacker.
Okay.
Yep.
I do remember Dandy Don. The group I remember the first was Dandy Don and Howard Cosell
and Frank Gifford.
Yep.
Yeah, still
Frank Gifford was one of the best broadcasters ever,
Oh, yeah.
like Summerall, to be a player.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep, he was.
And he was classy in what he did. Hook says he's laughing about that chefs. I love the chefs. And now don't they have a commercial now with Andy Reid even walking up and saying, hey, "Who are the chefs?"
I don't know.
I think he's in one of those now. Jason says Brady signed a 10-year contract. You want to guess the money on that
I
10-year?
think about $600 million.
Nah, about half of that.
Or $300 million.
330. 330.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't even care about the money. I mean, the money is just ridiculous what they give away to these guys these days. But, don't do it for the money. Do it if you want to do it and you're going to do a good job and it's your passion to get in there, because
Well, I can't imagine
I think-
Brady doing it if he didn't want to.
Which analyst do you think just enjoys doing it more than they enjoy the money? And not the play-by-play guy. The play-by-play guys are good, but just
Well,
you know,
I know a couple guys.
because it was a living for them from the beginning. The analysts are mostly former players.
Well, he's not on. He doesn't do games, but of course, he's in the studio. I think Terry Bradshaw does it because he loves it.
But he's neither. Yeah, you're right. He's not an analyst
No.
or a.
No,
But yeah, he does. He
he has a good time.
he would probably pay them
Yeah.
to let him come in
Mm-hmm.
and do that.
I don't know about an actual analyst.
Yeah, yeah. Just well, I'm not so. I know Troy Aikman's a guy who, like anybody else, likes their money, but I
Sure.
think he just likes being involved in it too.
Yeah,
Um,
he could be right.
And I think he's one of the best.
Oh, he is.
You know, I think he's one of the best at what he does, and he don't hold back. You know,
No,
even
he-
being a former Cowboy, he will criticize the Dallas Cowboys when need be.
That's what I like about him. He's candid and he sees it as he sees it.
Mm-hmm.
It says Brady and Kevin Burkhardt will be at Cleveland tomorrow for Cowboys and Browns, which is the Fox game of the week.
Cowboys and Browns. Yeah, that last time I looked, I don't know if it's still that way. Now
So
this
he moved.
C.D. Lamb hadn't signed yet, but the line at the time was Browns by 2.
Yeah. It's really going to be
Now
a
I
good
don't
one.
know now that since they've signed C.D. Lamb if that's changed, and Dallas is now the favorite in that game.
Well, they've got everybody that they've signed pretty much everybody that was a holdout. C.D. Lamb, there was another one too, right? Maybe not.
Well, the one thing they haven't done is give Dak Prescott.
Dak Prescott is extension. That's right.
Yeah, they have not done that yet, and you don't usually look for that to happen during a season. So,
Yeah.
it's probably going to be, I heard the perfect thing on one of these shows I was watching one morning. Says, why in the world at this point would he sign with them? I mean, right now he's in a position if he goes out and has a good season, he can name his price. With another team.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
yeah. So,
He's in a pretty good, and odds are he will have a good year.
Ned says Williamson, number 24 quarterback for Kansas City. Prior to the Super Bowl, he talked trash about the Packers. Lombardi and Bart Starr torched him. So that's going way back.
Ooh.
Trash talking is not a new thing.
No.
It goes way back.
Yeah, throughout the history of the league.
Richard says O.J. and Joe Namath made it one season.
Yeah, that's right. Broadway Joe.
Namath was in the booth for a little while, wasn't he? Disaster Namath showed up loaded too much and hit on too many women. Yeah, I remember he told Susie Colbert one night he wanted to kiss her. You remember that?
Yeah, that was probably his biggest.
On live television.
That was probably his biggest move or most famous
He had,
move on a woman.
And you can have your own opinion whether he was on the sauce or not when he made that statement. It says
Susie Colbert, she's gone, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. He said Disaster Namath showed up, loaded too much, and hit on too many women. And O.J. was not relatable. They didn't last but 12 games. 12 games that season for that Monday night crew. There have been a lot of people on Monday Night Football.
There have been.
And not many have been, have stayed around. What's the guy's name that does college football now? But I think he spent a season doing the play-by-play on Monday night. Maybe when Whitman was there, I heard him last Saturday, and he was getting all kind of excited.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Trying to,
I'll tell you another one.
I have to turn Gus Johnson down. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't listen to Gus Johnson get excited over a 3-yard pickup for a first down.
Let's don't forget the former Tampa Bay and Oakland Raiders coach, whose name escapes me at the moment.
Gruden.
I thought he was pretty good.
Yeah.
I liked him.
He was a very good analyst. Very good analyst. No matter how bad the Cleveland Browns are, they always pack the stadium to pull for their team. There's no doubt about that. That comes from Hooks. I mean, they are, I would say if you've been a season ticket holder for the Browns for the last 30 years, how many quarterbacks have you seen start?
I can't name.
75?
Yeah. Well, do you think there's still that thing about the Browns signing Deshaun Watson with everything he got into, all his issues, negativity around the Browns from not the
I'll tell you what,
Browns
as a football
fan,
fan, it don't even cross my mind
it doesn't
anymore.
cross your mind.
It
Okay.
doesn't.
Okay.
It doesn't. I mean, I don't even think about it now. You
No.
know, if he's doing the smart thing, he's put it behind him and not ever gonna have that happen again. You know,
you can't. Yeah.
I don't know if he. Do I think he did what they accused him of doing? Yeah, probably so.
Yeah.
I mean, too many people.
Yes.
Too many people said so.
And that was really during the height of the Me Too movement too, and that made it look much worse for him.
But I do believe in second chances
Yeah.
for just about anybody.
Right. But I mean, the Cleveland Browns fans, you gotta love them. I mean, they're
Oh yeah, they're loyal as even George Dixon, right? They're as loyal as you get, and that they had to be for a long time. Now they made the playoffs last year, right? Got beat in the first round, I think.
Yeah.
But they did make the playoffs last year, maybe for the first time in a while.
Well, didn't he make the playoffs when Baker Mayfield was there? I believe, didn't
Did they make it a year with him?
they? Thought so.
Yep. We get into that in a little bit. I'm telling you right now, it's
they last year wasn't Flacco quarterbacking when they
That's right.
made the playoffs,
how old is Flacco?
and he had a really good year last year.
He did.
He did, yes, he did. And didn't they just sign him? He wasn't even on the team when the season started, right? He came in later when the injuries
It might have been.
took over.
Is he still in the NFL this year? I don't know.
I think so.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Houston beat them 45-14 last year.
45-14. That was the beginning of Houston's. I think the Cup, didn't they have 2 wins in the playoffs, Houston?
Mm-hmm.
And that has a lot of people thinking really highly of him this season.
No, just one.
Just one?
Yeah,
Okay.
Baltimore beat them in the second round.
Close?
No.
No. Okay. Jason says the analyst money got reset when CBS signed Tony Romo.
Yeah.
Speaking of overrated and ready to see him move on, I like Romo, but I'm ready. It's worn off.
Yep.
It's worn on me. I'm ready for
That's
something.
still my favorite duo, Nance and Romo.
Well, I love Nance, but now what's great is to watch the people imitate Romo.
Yeah.
Saturday Night Live and different things like that. But
Yeah, he is open to satire.
he is.
But Jason nailed it. That's when he really ratcheted up.
Yeah, $17 million.
Yeah.
No TV experience.
No.
That's what triggered Aikman to want to raise. ESPN is paying Troy just under $20 million. Joe Buck $15 million. ESPN needed an A-list broadcast booth, but they don't. That's what I'm getting at. It's not going to. They just want to outdo the other networks because everybody's going to watch Monday Night Football that's going to watch Monday Night Football.
Regardless of who's in the booth.
Yeah.
If me, Mike, and Brett's doing it.
Nobody's tuning
The
in
people
just
are watching.
because it's Joe Buck and
Right.
Troy Aikman.
Right. ESPN needed an A broadcast due to the poor quality of games they were getting once they lost Tirico and Gruden on Monday nights.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could see that, but still, I just think.
Well, I mean, Sunday night, football in America, I still like my guys Collingsworth and Tirico and/or Michaels.
Oh, they're great.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I think they matter to me on Sunday night.
Somebody translate this message I just got from Tripper. Okay. That's all it says. Okay. Ned says Williamson got into acting in the late 60s. I don't even know this Williamson.
Yeah, he did. He was. He did.
He had a big run in the early 70s and a few of those gangster
Yep.
movies.
Action. Mainly action.
Apologies
films.
enough about the Hammer. So I'm guessing his nickname was the Hammer.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't place him. I
He
cannot
was
place
sort
him.
of, yeah. as big a splash as OJ had in the movies, but yeah, he was in a couple films.
We got high school football to talk about, the NFL schedule. We're going to give you our predictions for the season. We can guarantee you who won't be in the Super Bowl because we're going to pick them here in a little while. Maybe I should speak for myself, right? Of course, you can always go with the Chiefs, and you probably got a good chance to get the Super Bowl right.
Got a couple eyes on Facebook. Marco Arias, Juju Phillips are watching.
Good morning, guys. As we go to our first time out, the first lyrics of the morning. Are you ready?
I assume you're going first.
I'm going. I got them pulled up and ready here. Okay. You guys are sleepwalking over there. I'm trying
no,
to.
Mine are always ready.
She was a friend to me when I needed one. Back in a moment.
First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Dr. John Klunger III and Dr. Aaron Hebner's mission is to earn their patients' respect and trust through the commitment and positivity, and offer the dental solutions in a professional environment to improve oral and overall health. The practice will be accepting new patients. Just call 704-735-0765 to schedule an immediate appointment. We can provide services like extractions, crowns, bridges, fillings, night guards, cleanings, and deep cleanings, sleep apnea appliances, partials, and dentures. We can also advise determine a treatment plan for dental implants. Dr. John Klunger III and Dr. Aaron Hebner, 904 Doncha Drive, Lincolnton. Call 704-735-0765 to schedule your appointment and experience the dental profession in a warm and no-pressure environment. I'm telling you, the apple didn't fall far.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with Auto Owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit mooneyinsurance.com.
It's time to get ready for spring. Time to head to Full Throttle Power Sports and 95 Trailers. Test drive an ATV or side-by-side today. Full Throttle Power Sports carries CF Moto, Yamaha, Suzuki, Kawasaki, Honda, and Slingshot. And check out the trailers with brand names like SureTrack, Iron Bull, and Triton. Stop by or give them a call at 704-833-1270. Full Throttle Power Sports, 100 Indian Walk in Lowell. Online at ncfullthrottle.com. They deal in fun.
Hi, folks. This is Will Poteet, president and co-owner of RE/MAX Crossroads. The real estate market is ever-changing, but it's not too late to sell your home for a great price. If you're thinking about selling your home, give us a call at 704-736-1717 to speak with one of our expert agents. We would love the opportunity to earn your business.
This is Creighton Kell with Kell Insurance. We have been helping people for over 25 years with all their Medicare needs. We represent the same national and local companies as the insurance agencies you see on TV. And you know what? We can sit down with you one-on-one and help you find the right plan just for you.
Kell Insurance is located beside the Cultural Center and behind Gillum Realty in downtown Lincolnton. 107 North Cedar Street. Call 704-732-4646 and follow them on Facebook. Kell Insurance.
Welcome back. Glad to have you with us. Ned, all over those lyrics this morning.
He's a
Love
machine.
Love it. Monty Mossteller says, good morning, Sports Talk guys. Had a good conversation with Little Man about his haircut last night while Brett went to the concession stand. So they're discussing haircuts there.
Wow.
Sullivan and Monty. Mike Painter says, good morning, gentlemen. Sorry I didn't get by. We've had a busy morning.
Uh-oh.
Well, that's not good.
No.
We don't want you to have a busy morning.
Disorder in Maiden. We don't want that.
Lenny has the correct artist with my lyrics, but he said he can't quite don't know which.
What was it again? She was a friend of mine? Is that the opening line?
She was a friend of mine when I needed one. Wasn't for her, I don't know what I'd done. She gave me back something that was missing in me. She could have turned out to be almost anyone.
I have no clue.
I love this one. It's it's not the most popular song by this artist, legendary artist for that matter, but it is one. Whenever I tell you what the song is, I think you'll say, should have got that. So
Yep.
that's the way I like it.
Yeah, it sounds familiar to me, but I just can't get the tune or anything.
Both of you guys, I'll say this, know the guy real well. It's not like an obscure artist or anything like that. He's very popular. Throw you a hint out there.
Bob Seger?
Nope.
No.
Throw you he once played with a legendary band, so that might help you a little bit.
Once played with a legendary band.
Before going on his own all full time. Yep. That's exactly right. Let's see. Plenty to talk about. High school football. I think we ought to just jump right in and talk some high school football from last night. The last segment this morning, we'll give our NFL predictions. Last night, what was the final of that game last night? I know Philly pulled out the win there. Green Bay just couldn't stop them down the stretch. I don't know if you guys watched the end of the game or not, but they just and mainly it was Saquon had a big night.
He sure did.
Giants are probably puking all over themselves. Saquon scoring 3 touchdowns and nearly had 4. You know, he got to the 1-inch line on one of those. Nearly had a 4th touchdown in his debut. That's a fantasy football thriller right there. 3 touchdowns is a lot.
Well, I have Jalen Hurts in my
Hurts had a big game too. That's basically who won the game for him was Hurts. They just couldn't stop him running the ball on that on the last drive when they were trying to run the clock out. Both those teams are going to be okay though, as long as Jordan Love is healthy. We don't know what his status is this morning. He took a big hit right at the end of the game last night and didn't look good. It did not look good. But, you know, a lot of people probably have the Eagles and the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Of course, the way the Eagles finished last year, I don't know if the majority does because they really struggled at the end of the season last year.
What's the coach's name for Philly, Nick?
Sirianni. And
is he on the hot seat?
Brett and I both picked the Eagles to win this game because I just thought they had so much pressure and to prove a point that we're not going to be that team we were at the end of last year.
And they got so many weapons, A.J. Brown.
But now I did think the Ravens would beat the Chiefs on Thursday night. I thought the Ravens would win that game.
Well, you go back and you look, I mean.
If he would have been wearing white shoes, he might have got a touchdown. The receiver that was out of bounds I don't think he would have, but that was what
Well,
Mahomes
there was another
said
one
after the
where
game.
wide open and Lamar Jackson just missed him.
Yeah. But I think I still say watch out for the Ravens. It's a long season. They're going to be in the mix. If that division, the division we were talking about earlier, about being which one was what did I bring up that I thought was so good?
NFC North.
NFC North. The AFC North is another one.
That's the best division to me.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah, with the Bengals, the Steelers, the Browns,
That's
and
a heck of a
the
division.
Ravens. Yeah,
Yeah.
think about that. I mean, that's and Pittsburgh supposedly has the roughest schedule in the NFL, the strongest schedule in the NFL, and their last 8 games are like all their division games. I think come in their final 8, and that being one of the tougher divisions, that's going to make it hard on them. Ned, I'm going to say something, Ned. So far, Ned, you are the only one that have the artist and the song correct.
Was in a legendary band, then went solo.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Got to be
Paul McCartney.
Got to be Paul McCartney.
Ned says, "I'll tell you when you get it. I'm not going to even waste my breath." But, how long?
Well, nobody's been in a more legendary band and went solo than
Paul McCartney.
Well, maybe not, but there are others though.
Yeah.
How long before players' union pitches a fit about the field in Brazil? Well, what was wrong? I got home late.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
any
there were some
details on that.
post-game comments about it.
Were there?
Yeah.
I read that there were players slipping early in the game, and I don't know if that. I didn't see it in the. I only watched the fourth quarter, but
Well, wonder if it played a factor in
the injury to
Yeah.
Jordan Love.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think that's just the way.
Just the way you got hit.
Yep. But of course, the
Makes
answer
me wonder.
was that it was the same for both.
But I still don't
teams.
like it. I mean, why play in Brazil?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, Friday night, I don't like that for the NFL.
You know,
Yeah.
we always thought that there might be a team in London, an NFL team in London. You know how I am with Dan Patrick. I listen to Dan Patrick. I'm not, believe it or not, being retired, I get to see Dan Patrick. I shouldn't even say this. I see it less.
That's because you're busy.
I see less of it. Yeah. But the other day, he said he don't believe now that the NFL is going to go to London, that they're just going to play in different countries and highlight the games in different countries around the world.
Yep.
And that makes more sense because
Well, it's a money grab.
Well, number one, if you put a team in London, they're going to have a hard time signing free agents. So that makes them less competitive, right? Because a lot of players have the choice. They're going to stay in the U.S. for a little less money.
Yeah. Right.
So I think.
Yeah, and then you have, the team's got long
But just sheer
flights,
distance.
time changes,
You're talking
8 or
about
9 games a year. It's,
5-6 hour time change.
I think it's just an unfair advantage to
Yep.
the team.
Yep.
That I don't like it.
Yep. I hope. I
don't even like them playing over there, but
Although,
I just think the games aren't as good when they're played outside of the home
Yeah,
stadiums.
it's a different atmosphere.
Although I got to tell you, the crowd in Sao Paulo, they had a huge. It was a former soccer stadium. It must have had 80,000.
I told you last night, Mike. I thought, man, they're playing in Brazil. I don't know what that weather's going to be like. I hope it's closed. It's
75
indoors,
degrees.
but it was 75. The high yesterday, and it was 75.
Yeah.
Yesterday in Sao Paulo, and I think the low was around 55 or something like that. So, not a better weather than we had. Better weather than we had yesterday, as far as trying to dodge the heat. As we go through the scores, we might stop on some of these, talk a little bit, have a comment or so. RS Central 52-20 over Wilkes Central last night. Burlington Cummings, are they on their way back up? I don't know what their record is, but they won last night over Jordan Matthews 55-8.
Yeah, weren't they pretty good last year?
I think so. I think they might have made the playoffs last year for the first time in a while.
They're
Jordan
2-1 right
Matthews on their
now.
way down.
The Jets of Jordan Matthews.
I'll never forget when they came into Cherville and the Ironmen beat them. Jordan Matthews was 11-0.
That was like a third round game or something, wasn't it? It was.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cummings went 9-3 last year.
Pretty good.
Yeah, it is. What round of the playoffs did they?
They lost in the second round to, I think that's Southeast Alamance.
Okay.
So they were in the East.
Right.
2-1 this year so far.
Jason says technically it's winter in Brazil. and they are in the southern hemisphere. Yes, they are. And
Yeah.
that winter right there is like a Los Angeles winter.
Still 75.
75 to 55. No, I'm sorry, Hooks. The artist is not Kenny Loggins.
Oh.
It is not Kenny Loggins. And I don't know what legendary band. Now, I may be wrong, but was Kenny Loggins in a legendary band?
Not really. He was in Loggins of Messina, but I don't know.
When I say legendary, I mean,
Legendary.
Yep. Yep. Still going strong.
Is this? Give me a decade. Anything.
Of what?
When this guy went solo.
Oh Lord, I don't know when he went solo. I really don't. But my guess would be late 70s, early 80s.
And he didn't go back to the band? No.
Well, okay, then.
Not that I'm aware of.
Not Don Henley.
No, but you're on the right track. Wasn't with the band a long time, but he was with them at some point. RS Central 52 to 20. I think I've already said
Bill
that
Walsh.
one. Let's see. Weddington. How about this? Number 1. Weddington is now ranked number 1 in North Carolina. Period. Okay? They roll into West Forsyth last night, who's ranked 16th in the state of North Carolina, and it was ugly. 48 to 13.
Wow.
Weddington. Are they? Well, I just get a message from Selena saying his debut solo album. So I'm way off track on when it was when he went solo. His debut solo album was in 72.
72.
Mm-hmm. So, does that help you any?
Boy, 72. A real mind number for me.
I hope I'm not giving you any kind of wrong information. You guys might say he wasn't with that band, but
Rod Stewart.
I'm pretty sure he was
Rod Stewart
with that band.
No, he was with Faces.
And they're legendary?
No, they're definitely not legendary. 72.
Here, Lenny says, here's a clue. He was a big political activist. And I didn't even realize that. But yep. To me, it's one of my favorite. I don't know why I really like him.
So he is American.
He is American.
Jackson Brown? No.
Bingo.
Bingo.
What do you mean? Why are you doubting yourself whenever you
Okay.
say Jackson Brown?
Oh, yeah, I love him.
Yes. That girl could sing.
That's tough.
That's your song. Don't you guys know that one? You do, right?
That title doesn't sound as familiar as the words did. I had to listen to it and see.
Yep. So, I heard it one day last week. I hear it quite a bit. But, like I said, it's not his most famous song. I'm guessing his most famous song's Running on Empty.
Yeah, probably.
And Stay
Yeah.
was one of his better
Dr.
ones.
My Eyes.
Dr. My Eyes. But yeah, that girl could sing.
And, of course, he actually did write
Take It Easy.
Take It Easy.
I was going to give you guys one, and I got laughed at by Sullivan and my wife because they were afraid you wouldn't know who Freddie Johnston was.
Freddie Johnston.
Sounds familiar.
The one-hit wonder. I know I've got a bad reputation. You know that song? Don't you know that song by Freddie?
Yeah.
Yep. I had to play it for them, so they really thought I was joking. So.
Can you name the pop singer that Jackson Brown was with for quite a while?
Now, what do you mean was with?
Well, I mean, they dated.
Okay.
They were together.
So I'm going to guess it wasn't a male artist.
No.
Linda Ronstadt.
That's right.
Yep.
Yep, you got it.
I was going to guess Stevie
Not
Nicks
that there's
because
anything
it
wrong with that.
seemed like she was.
No.
As Seinfeld would say.
And
Stevie
of course,
Nicks.
she also dated the governor of
It seemed
California.
like she made her rounds.
She made her rounds. Yes, she did.
Yeah. I would compare her to somebody, but I won't. Let's see. Weddington. I already talked about Weddington. Richmond County. What's the deal with the Richmond County Raiders? They've been down a couple of years. They lose last night to Cardinal Gibbons, which is no thing to be ashamed of. 31-13, Cardinal Gibbons over Richmond County last night. Greensboro Dudley 44, Durham Hillside nothing. In the East, you can watch for Dudley to go deep in the playoffs once again. I would expect. Good tight one here. Carson High School over Piedmont, 32-29. Ashbrook gets another win. Mike Powell. Are they?
They must be
2 or 3-0.
Yeah.
18-0 last night over West Meck.
Sort of middling for many years.
And I think maybe one of their other wins was a shutout.
So Ashbrook, the Green Wave.
Yep.
I have to watch them in the Big South 3A this year.
And I can't tell you who the coach is there now.
Can't either.
But it seems like it's maybe starting to shift a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe the Green Wave is turning
into a
tsunami.
And I don't know about Huss. They had a big win early. I don't know what they did last night.
They lost last night, but they played somebody really good. I'm going to have to look. And they scored some points, but they still lost. I know it's on the scoreboard here. Rocky River and Monroe, no score to report. East Meck loses to Parkwood 35-14. Mooresville, this one surprised me, the margin. Mooresville over West Rowan 66-0.
This is West Rowan. Wow.
Starmount, rivalry game last night, beats Forbush 45-0 in that win. Charlotte Latin over C Co-op. No idea who C Co-op is. 35-14 Charlotte Latin. A winner, one of your better private schools. It's Providence, Mike, that beat Hunter Huss 56-27.
Okay.
Providence. That's a 4A.
Right. Going up against a
public
3A.
school, yes. Actually, Huss may even be 2A size.
He may even be 2A size. Yep. That's right.
56-27. I think last layer realignment they asked to play up, didn't they? T.W. Andrews over Thomasville in a tight one, 21-20. Blacksburg over Cherryville, 48-12 last night. In that game, Mike, you say there might have been a scuffle
I heard there was
a
scuffle at the half. I don't know anything about it, but just that there was kind of a melee, but evidently they got it under control and finished the game.
I'll go back just a moment to Ashbrook. Jason says, speaking of Ashbrook, congratulations to alum and former UNC running back British Brooks. I remember the name British Brooks. I remember seeing him play in high school. Made the 53-man roster with the – anybody want to guess?
Carolina Torials? No.
Made the 53-man roster. I didn't say the 153-man roster.
53-man roster, the NFL. I'm sorry. I don't know.
Houston Texans. Playing with the Houston Texans. Tarboro, same old Tarboro, 75-0 over North Edgecombe last night. One thing about Tarboro, they've been denied the 1A state championship the last 2 years, right? By Mount Airy.
That's right.
Yep. Tarboro getting there the last couple of years, but not winning. Huff beat Carolina Forest last night, 41-0. I know nothing about Carolina Forest. Marvin Ridge over Ardrey Cale, 42-28. North Forsyth over Atkins, 21-7. Winston-Salem Glen over Chambers High, 31-13. Haven't heard as much out of Chambers the last couple of years.
Yeah, formerly Vance.
Yes, yes, Lenny, the Houston Texans. Tell them, Lenny. Graham and Bartlett Yancey, no score. That's my Bartlett Yancey Pirates there that I don't have a score on. No score on Cherokee and Choctaw. But I bet that was a battle.
Was that Choctaw Ridge? Or
Nope, it was Choctaw Central, if you want to get technical. Roanoke Rapids beat Pine Lake Prep 35-14. Smoky Mountain, T.C. Roberson, no score.
I got one.
I think Smoky Mountain was undefeated.
Well, it says on my Max Preps, T.C. Roberson 49, Smoky Mountain 7.
Yeah, I don't doubt. T.C.'s good. T.C. Roberson is a really good team. They lost one. They may have lost one, but I can't remember who it was to. But they did beat. They're East Rutherford's only loss, and it was just an 8-point game.
Well, Smoky Mountain, only high school in Jackson County, and it's not a big school, right? 2A, correct?
Been there a couple times.
Yeah.
We've done baseball there.
Scott Cloniger's watching.
Done baseball. I have broadcast baseball and basketball from Smoky
Have you?
Mountain. And I have been on their football field, which is turf, by the way. A beautiful football field sitting high atop a mountain.
I was just up there in late July for an alumni function. Yeah, it's a beautiful spot.
Ned says it's Carolina Forest down near Myrtle Beach. I could not. It don't sound like it would be, but I can't answer that.
Forest doesn't.
Yep. I do not know the answer. Olympic beats West Cabarrus last night 41-28. South Lake Christian over Mountain Island Charter 21-10 in that game. Alexander Central has to come from behind. You know, Mike, last night I told you North Iredale was leading that game.
Yeah.
Alexander Central wins 28-19 over North Iredale. Whiteville loses to Keenan. James Keenan 21-20 over Whiteville. Statesville in a defensive battle beats South Iredale 6-0. Mike said there were 5 touchdowns.
Yeah. They reported that
Call
on
back.
Football Friday night.
5 touchdowns called back, and they weren't all by one team. It was a mixture.
It was kind of a mix.
Okay. Northwest Guilford over R.J. Reynolds 17-3. Carver loses to Parkland. Parkland wins 7-0. Lake Norman and Asheville, no score reported.
32-15 Lake Norman.
Lake Norman, 32-15.
And they were down 15-3 early.
You know, hadn't they've got a loss, don't they? And I thought Asheville was supposed to be like one of the better teams in Western North Carolina this year, but they got beaten soundly last night. That's for sure. Cuthbertson over South Meck, 24-7. North Wilkes and East Wilkes missing. Don't have a score there. Mike, you got one on North Wilkes, East Wilkes?
I do not.
North Wilkes, Brian Hanks high.
You mentioned Lake Norman having a loss. That was to Statesville.
That's right.
Statesville's who beat Lake Norman.
I bet it was low scoring.
It's 28-21.
Okay, a little more than I thought. Statesville known for their defense.
So Statesville's 3-0 now, and the next 2 games are North Lincoln and East Lincoln.
Yeah.
Those will be some good matchups to see.
No score for me either on North Wilkes, East Wilkes.
Here's your one. West Charlotte beats Cox Mill 41-0. No score on Sun Valley and Myers Park. Wallace Rosehill hammered last night. Of course, it was 4A Hoggard winning 48-14.
I do have a Myers Park score, 37-14 over Sun Valley.
Over Sun Valley. Hook says, how about Highland Tech winning their second game in a row last night?
2-0, baby.
Beating Buford, South Carolina, 8-7.
Last week they snapped a 34-game losing streak.
Home run in the bottom of the ninth. 8-7 win. How many? 34?
Yeah, their losing streak was 34, which they broke last week against a team from Huntersville.
Good for them. Good for
I
them.
know.
I may have said this. I'm going to say it again. Ashe County 20, West Wilkes 15, Mount Airy 56-7 over Surrey Central. Moving on down the list, Montgomery Central over Webb, JF Webb 43-16. Central Davidson 35, West Davidson 13, Wilkes Central, and they put Patton in here every week. Patton does not have varsity football, right? No. North Surrey, this one surprised me, the score. Maybe not the winner, but North Surrey over South Caldwell 37-6.
Yeah.
So how good is North Surrey?
Oh, I got to give shout out to my Max Cady boys. Cape Fear 31, Terry Sanford 7.
Yeah. Freedom over Forest View, 26-7. I'm telling you, the Freedom program is turning around. What are they now? 2-1 to start the season?
That's right.
Or 3-0? Which is it?
No, they lost to
their opener.
Bunker Hill.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Lost after having a 2-touchdown lead against Bunker. They lost. Let's see. The Guilfords here. We'll skip those. Salisbury, 57-0 over East Rowan. Polk County falls to Blue Ridge. Blue Ridge wins 42-36. Is Blue Ridge a North Carolina school?
I don't think so.
Yeah. And their logo there looks like a tiger. I don't know. Davie County over North Davidson, 44-17. High Point Central falls to Southwest Guilford, 55-0 Southwest Guilford.
Blue Ridge is in Greer, South Carolina.
Okay.
And they're the Fighting Tigers.
The Fighting Tigers. Kings Mountain bouncing back in a big way at rolling over Burns last night. County rival 41-20. Maiden falls to Watauga, but not without putting up a fight. Good close game. Watauga beats Maiden 24-13. West Henderson and Murphy, maybe one of the better games of the night. Murphy wins on the road 36-33. In that one, no score on East Henderson and Hendersonville. East Rutherford, they may be the surprise team in our area.
I think so.
So far this season. East Rutherford 62-15 last night over Newton Conover. Their record now is
2-1
with a loss to
TC Roberson
by 8 points.
Yeah, 40-32, and Newton Conover's defense. Some work to do. Matt Wilson.
Yep, they are giving up a lot of points. I don't see a score here on Drone and East Burke, but Brett told me East Burke did win this game in spite of losing their coach on Thursday afternoon. Coach Miner resigned. Don't know any of the details or anything about that. I just know that he stepped down on Thursday. But East Burke still, according to Brett, right, 12-7?
That's the score I read on NC Preps.
Okay. Did hang on and win that game last night. Don't know who took over as the interim head coach or any of the details like that at this point. Central Cabarrus loses to Mount Pleasant. Mount Pleasant 42-29. East Lincoln rolled over Lincoln last night. Lincoln had no answer for East Lincoln's offense, 52-14 in that one last night. Any comments, Mike? Brett?
Well, Brett and I were talking off air that, just really impressed with East Lincoln's offense, the way they can move the ball. They probably could have just stayed on the ground and scored a lot of points, too.
So many different weapons.
Yep, so many weapons. You got Jackson Beam, wide receiver. This L.J. Forney looked really good. We talked about the improvement in the quarterback, Brent Lawless. I had him 11 for 15, 4 touchdown passes, and right at 300 yards. I had him with 299.
He looks like a college quarterback now.
Yeah. He's 6'3", 6'4". Yeah, he's just a lot more poised and good arm, too.
Mm-hmm.
Just
and throws well even when rolling to his left.
Yeah.
And
what really stands out to me is the size difference between the two teams.
East
Lincoln looks like a college team playing against a high school JV team.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. And the size, I would agree with that. That's pretty good. Pretty
now,
close comparison.
They are big. They're the biggest team Lincoln's going to see. And
right.
And even like the big lineman, number 90, I think his last name was
they
Wilson.
Move.
Yeah, he was all over the
they
place.
Can move, yeah.
I saw him in golf. I mean, it was almost like he just engulfed a Lincoln and running back on a play. I remember that. One big caveat, though, Chris Daly, he went out in the first half and didn't return.
Yeah, he did. Yes, he did. And I haven't heard anything on that injury as well.
Try to get in touch with Coach.
But they have Matthew Funtek had a pretty big night for the Mustangs running the ball, did a freshman that came in.
Oh, yeah, this kid, Jacoby Hunter.
Had 100 yards and like 5 carries and a touchdown, I think.
Or Jacoby Hunt. I'm sorry, not Hunter.
Jacoby. I don't know why you want to call him Jacoby.
That's right,
Jacoby.
I totally botched that.
You know Joe Jacoby and
Joe Jacoby, yeah.
Jacoby Ellsbury. That's
or do you know Joe Jacoby?
Yeah. I missed that one.
Come on, English professor, help me out over there. I got some comments to read before we take our next break. I'm going to try to finish the scoreboard though. Swain County and Franklin, no score. Lexington beat South Stanley 28-14. East Forsyth, man, this one after AC Reynolds put 51 on Shelby last week, East Forsyth manhandles AC Reynolds by a score of 49-14.
That's a little hard to comprehend.
I tell you what, the 4A state championship is going to be hard earned this year in North Carolina. There are some loaded teams out there that aren't going to win it. I mean, everybody can't win it. Only one team can win it, and that championship. East Forsyth, Brett, will they be? Do they play in the West? Don't they? The West is absolutely loaded, and then on the East side you got Roseville and schools like that. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
This is definitely time for 8 classifications. I cannot wait till next year when we get 8 classifications, a well-deserved 8 state champions in every sport. Can't wait for that.
Yeah, and that's the big difference in every sport,
Mhm.
which we didn't have
Right.
when we had 1A, 1AA, on and on.
No, we did not. West Columbus over West Bladen, 42-8. I'm looking at that once again. The Eagles of East Forsyth just pounding.
That game
AC
was
Rangers.
42-7 at halftime.
Wow. How good is East Forsyth? And you, Brett, you and I have seen East Forsyth win state title games.
Yeah.
They were always really good. Always good. Shelby loses to Crest. Shelby drops second straight, right? Two in a row.
Yeah.
Well, don't worry though. Last year they were 1-3, and then they won 11 in a row. Got to the West.
Well, they play a heck of an early schedule. I mean, and Crest 27-14. This one was 27-0 though before Shelby got on the board, scored the last two touchdowns.
Yeah, defense is a concern for Shelby.
Mike told you earlier, Highland Tech 2 wins in a row. This one over Buford 8-7. West Stokes beats East Surrey 26-23. Trinity over East Davidson 54-22. North Stokes over South Davidson 7-6. Bunker Hill gets their first loss of the season. Bunker Hill falls to Randleman. This was a 21-0 Randleman lead, right?
Yeah.
Bunker Hill came back and tied it.
Yeah.
And then Randleman scored, and then there was a botched snap on a punt that led to another.
Yeah.
I think Randleman picked it up and ran it in. Hooks was giving me information on that one last night. He was taking it in the luxury of his living room, I think, watching that Bunker Hill Randleman game last night, and appreciate all that information. Mountain Heritage defeats Robbinsville 28-13. In a pitcher's duel, Andrews beats Hayesville 7-2. West Lincoln, a winner in Mike Powell says in overtime last night.
That's what I heard last night.
27-21, the Battle of Hog Hill. The Rebels win it over Fred T. Ford. Eastern Alamance, Northern Guilford. It was Northern Guilford, the 45-14 winner. High Brighton got their first win, I think it was last night. Young season, though. They win last night over rival West Caldwell 38-8. Wheatmore and Ledford no score. Bessemer City rolled over Avery County 42-14.
Yeah. Second win in a row for Yellow Jackets. They beat Northcast, and so they might be pretty good in the Southern Piedmont 1A, 2A.
Who are the 1As in there? Bessemer, Cherryville, Highland.
Thomas, Jefferson, and Highland.
So Bessemer looking good maybe to be the top 1A.
They look like the top 1A team based on what we've seen so far.
Yep, early going. Anson County over North Rowan 44-22 last night. And Cleveland, this is not the Browns because it's 47-0 Cleveland wins over West Johnson.
Did you get Reedsville, Rockingham County?
I did earlier.
Okay.
Yes, a blowout.
Yep.
It's like 42-7 or something
57.
50-7, yeah. Yep, I sure did. Let's see. I'm going to read a couple. Somebody got their lyrics ready. As soon as I get these messages out, we'll let one of you give the lyrics. Ned says, here's too much info on Carolina Forest you did not ask for. They're from Myrtle Beach. The nickname's the Panthers. They wear burgundy and black, and they're in 5A of Region 6 in South Carolina. Lenny says, I just checked. Carolina Forest is located in Myrtle Beach. We're getting a lot of research on the Carolina Forest. Hooks is laughing at Powell. I think about maybe I might go back to Jacoby. I'm going to start calling Mike Jacoby. And our final message before we take a break, Butch Parker sends me a message. It says, Alan Wittenberg is at East Burke now. So he is the one that is taking over as the interim head coach, Alan Wittenberg, taking over for Coach Minor up there. Who?
Now, what was Minor's first name?
I can't.
Well,
Derek?
That sounds
you should
right.
know
I
since
think
you're
it's
the
Derek.
commish.
But first names, Mike, when it's coaches, a lot of time you don't ever even
You
hear
don't
them.
ever hear the first
I know
name.
what his first name is. It's Coach.
Coach. That's right. Coach Silver.
Major.
But I think, Major Minor. Yep. We'll see. Hadn't heard any details on that. Just know that he stepped down on Thursday afternoon. So there's your scoreboard. Who's got the lyrics ready?
I'm ready.
All right,
Mine's
here they are.
Short and sweet.
Short and sweet. I don't know it.
Yeah.
It's all right if you love me. It's all right if you don't.
Back in a moment.
Getting the kids to practice on time. Remembering if it's your day to bring snacks. Making it to the game with a clean jersey. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with Auto Owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like whether your kid is going to run toward first or third base. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit MooneyInsurance.com.
Rhodesville Oil Company in Lincoln has been serving the Piedmont of North and South Carolina since 1919. Sure, they deliver to your home with home heating oils. They'll help keep you warm, but they do a whole lot more. They feature bulk fuel delivery, on-site and commercial fueling, backup generator fueling, and farm and agricultural fueling. For home or business or farms, call on Rhodesville Oil Company in Lincoln, 704-735-2508. Online at rhodesville.com, located at 1404 East Main Street in Lincoln. Like them on Facebook too.
For where two or three have gathered together in my name, I am there in their midst. Matthew 18:20. You are invited to gather with us at Rhine Heights United Methodist Church, located at 520 Madison Street, just up from Betty Ross Park. Sunday school meets at 10, and worship follows at 11 every Sunday. Follow us on Facebook for special service announcements. Join us Sunday at Rhine Heights United Methodist Church.
Buying a Bobcat is now easier than ever at West End Sales in Vail. Now get 0% APR financing. That means low monthly payments. Or you can get $1,200 instant rebates on selected models. Now is the time to buy. Like we said, it's easier than ever. Again, get 0% APR financing or get $1,200 instant rebate on selected Bobcat models at West End Sales at the Highway 1827 West intersection in Vail. Online at westendsales.com and like them on Facebook too.
Western Steer Family Steakhouse in Newton has the best food around. Their buffet is like no other. Fried chicken, meatloaf, baked chicken, beef tips with peppers and onions, pintos and macaroni cheese, green beans, yams, and the best salad bar around. Hours of business Sunday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Fridays and Saturdays, 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Western Steer Family Steakhouse, 334 Southwest Boulevard, Newton. Call for takeouts at 704-325-3926. Like them on Facebook.
The game is about to start.
What the?
You finally put the kids to sleep.
Sweet dreams. No, the battery.
Your dinner guests will be here in 5 minutes.
Not now. Oh.
Mr. Sparky electricians are around the corner and ready to help. Call Mr. Sparky today for any electrical need.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Zeus Auto Repair and Performance at 1122 South Aspen Street in Lincoln now have 4 North Carolina licensed state inspectors on site. Need automotive work? They are the best. Oil changes, brakes, car detailing, and suspension work. You'll be in and out before you know it. Stop in and see the guys at Zeus Auto Repair and Performance at 1122 South Aspen Street in Lincoln. Hours of business, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Call 704-240-3061. Zeus Auto Repair and Performance.
Notary services available on site as well.
Welcome back. Glad to have you with us. Couple details last night. West Lincoln and Fred T. Ford, 14-all at the half last night. It was 7-6 after a quarter. Ford got the 2-point conversion in the second quarter. Neither team scored in the third. Both teams scored 7 in the fourth. They went to overtime, and West Lincoln scores in the overtime period on a Keegan Bostic 7-yard rushing touchdown to win the game. The Rebels ran last night. Not quite the numbers they put up the week before, but Brett, give me this average real quick. 44 for 243.
Well, no.
44 for 243. That's about 6 yards a carry.
I heard that Bostic had a big game.
Yep. Bostic, 21 carries, 85 yards, and a touchdown. Gideon Allen with a touchdown pass in that game as well. Yep. The Jace Rao, and Mike, that's the one you didn't know as ROE or ROWE.
Which one is it?
ROWE.
Okay. Well, I just my apologies.
With the catch.
When I did the story,
yep.
It said ROE.
Yeah, it did.
On our
roster, it said ROE. Just a typo.
Just a typo.
Yep.
But I hate that when that happens.
Had the catch last night, and Drew Ponder, maybe he didn't have the rushing he had a week ago, but guess what? He had 7 tackles last night.
Gray Ponder.
Gray. This was Drew.
Yeah.
Drew had the 7 tackles. It was Gray with the yardage the other week on the ground. You're exactly right.
Right.
Just trying to see here if there's anything else that stands out to me on their stat sheet from last night. The boys up there stay up late on Friday nights and send out their stats. And John Markley's the one that always forwards it to me, and we definitely appreciate it.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
For many reasons, radio and newspaper reasons. But, yep, West Lincoln
what is
2-1.
Ford now has a fairly significant losing streak. I hate to bring up a negative, but I think they do. It's up there.
Is it?
Yeah.
Not as long as they had back in the 70s, though, right?
No.
When they, I think they led it was the nation's longest streak at one time.
Yeah. Was it in the 50s, maybe?
If it was 40s or 50s, I'm pretty sure. Not the decade, but the number of losses. Because I wouldn't remember if it was in the 40s or 50s, and Mike might not even remember it if it was in the.
Not if it was in the 40s, probably not.
Yep.
I do have some memory of the 50s, though.
Does anything stand out to you guys last night on our scoreboard? We talked a little bit about some of the games. We didn't get into a whole lot of.
For me, it was East Rutherford, just 65 points on Newton Conover.
Yep. A school that did not have varsity football for a year, and that was either 2 or 3 years ago that they went without football.
Which adds some spice to their upcoming game next week, as you said we're going to be at North Lincoln at East Rutherford.
Yes. I still think that's going to be a really good game.
I got that feeling.
Yeah, it seems like that's going to be a really good game. Hook says, I don't know if East Lincoln quarterback had any pressure on him. Maybe you guys can answer that.
A couple times, backside pressure, but yeah, he just did a good job of.
I'll say that he never took a big hit.
No,
he always eluded the pressure pretty good, and he made good throws on the run.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, he's a lot different than he was a year ago.
Yeah,
I can tell you that right now. Grant Lawless, a big night for East Lincoln. I don't know. You and I don't get to watch the linemen enough. You got to watch the ball when you're a broadcaster and everything.
Right.
But I don't know how I'd rate their line. But I think they gave him ample protection.
Well, I know they have 2 or 3 new kids, don't they? They were breaking in this year. Some new faces on the offensive front, but they're big.
Mm-hmm.
That, as Brett said.
Yep. Butch says Ford's losing streak back then was 52 straight. 52 straight.
Okay.
And Butch ends that with, yes, I am old. Talking about him, not me.
Yeah.
Yes, I am old. But I remember when that was going on. I remember
Yeah.
when that streak was going on because
sure.
I'm pretty sure, and Butch can answer this, it was the longest in the nation at the time, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
But they've come a long way since that. Hook says there wasn't a Bassani on the other side of the ball. Yeah, that's.
Oh, by the way, Bassani, going into last night, I was looking at some conference stat leaders. He already had 26 tackles. I don't know how many he made last night.
I do.
They didn't play.
None.
That's right, they didn't play.
Unless he played for somebody else last night.
Brain fade.
He did not record. It'd be the only Friday night though he didn't record a tackle, most likely.
Well, anyway, he's got 26 according to Max Preps.
And Butch confirms, yes, it was longest one in the nation. Butch, I know Lanny tells the story of he was scared to death that Ford would end their streak when he played at West Lincoln, but West won the game, and Ford might have ended the streak the next week. Who did Ford beat to break the 50-plus game streak? Hooks is laughing at you again. Mike Powell sends me another message.
What's this one about? I have to get him next time I see him.
I don't know. That's yeah. Oh, you asked how many tackles Bassani had last night.
Yeah,
that's what it is. Yeah. Not a one.
I tell you why I did that, because he was on the notes I had prior to last night's game as conference leaders, and yeah.
You think this Walkertown team?
They've been playing well, haven't they?
Yeah.
They're 3-0, and they've beat Salisbury and Forest Hills, two usually pretty good teams.
Traditionally good teams, yeah.
They're in the conference with Reedsville and West Stokes. That's why.
Well, we'll find out.
Kind of curious.
One game that wasn't on a scoreboard, I don't remember saying it, but last night, West Stokes.
Yeah, you said it.
Did I?
Yeah, they beat East Surrey.
They did.
That was the Trent Lohman.
The Trent Lohman Bowl.
Reunion.
Yeah, and he got the win.
Yeah,
he got the win over East Surrey last night. West Stokes a good program as well.
Yeah.
We saw them win a state title maybe 8 years ago.
They lost
or so.
last week to Randleman.
Yeah. Yep. A lot of good football. A lot of good football in each classification.
Guys,
but
turning to college football outside of Texas, Michigan, it is not. Well, at least on
I
paper.
think Tennessee and NC State's the second best game of the.
It looks like it.
I can promise you it won't be.
How about Colorado, Nebraska?
Probably not.
I'm going to bet it won't be, but that's bad. Nebraska, Colorado, I'm interested in.
Yeah.
Nebraska was a pleasant surprise last week. They look good.
Well,
they look good
they have
under
the nation's
Matt Rule.
top-rated quarterback starting as a freshman.
Yeah. Yep. They didn't he wasn't he commit to somebody else and then
flip.
Yeah.
Can't think of his name.
Yep. I wonder why it's called flipped instead of changed his mind or but it is. I mean, they refer to it as they flipped him is what they say. This school flipped him, and I can promise you this: the school he came from would he didn't go to would like to flip him.
Would you call Clemson App a big game? Well, regionally, it's an interesting game.
Richard has sent me the longest win streaks currently in North Carolina.
Okay.
Care to guess? I'll tell you this. Hickory has won 18 in a row.
Yeah.
But they're not it. He said Hickory's won 18 in a row.
So it's got to be – well, no, it doesn't have to be. I was going to say it's got to be somebody that's won back-to-back titles, but –
It is.
Is it? Okay. So it's not 19. It's more than that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Because somebody could have 19.
32. 32 straight.
Weddington?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, that was a good guess.
You and I have watched them.
Mount Airy?
Yes.
32.
Mount Airy, 32
With
straight.
Granite Bears.
Yeah, Weddington.
We watched them. We watched them win their last two state titles. Tarboro and Tarboro, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Both of them against Tarboro. Mount Airy, we talk about the size of Langton and how small their kids are. Last year, Tarboro was in the same boat. They had a couple real big guys, but everybody else was small.
A lot smaller than Mount Airy.
Yep. Richard says Garinger lost 40 in a row. No offense there, Ned. Don't take it.
Yeah, Ned. 40 in a row.
40 in a row. Ford
Ooh.
was 36. Now, Butch said Ford was a lot more than that. 40. Didn't he say 42 or 52?
He said 50.
He said 52, yeah. Wes Caldwell, 33. I remember Wes Caldwell's losing streak as well. Butch says, I sent you other info you missed. Also, don't remember who beat Ford. He don't remember who Ford beat.
Who Ford beat.
Yeah, who Ford beat to end that streak. So Alan Wittenberg is at East Burke now. I think I mentioned that one.
Obviously he was on the staff.
Tom Petty breakdown. Did we ever give that answer? That Tom
No.
Petty breakdown. That is several people got the. I'm surprised Mike Powell didn't know that one.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Breakdown by Tom Petty. I think he guessed it was
Great
Jacoby.
No.
The legend, Jacoby.
The legend, Jacoby.
Yep. Let's see. Going to be a good one today. Clemson, Appalachian State. App coming to Death Valley to play the Clemson Tigers.
Any chance for an App win?
He says Kerry Miller's on his way down there as we speak this morning. And,
right.
yeah, Kerry told me he was going to be going to Clemson to catch that game today. What'd you say, Mike?
Any chance for an App upset?
Oh, Richard said these are current. I did not know that Ford was in the midst.
I knew they were in the 30s.
36 right now.
Right now.
36 right now. Wes Caldwell, 33. And Garinger is leading the state at 40. That's tough. Who will win first out of those three?
Well, Ford's best chance probably is against Wes Caldwell.
And just think, Ford went to overtime last night.
Yeah.
They had an opportunity to end that. Last night.
That would have been epical if
It
they
would
had done it.
It would.
I think they beat Wes Caldwell. I don't know when they play.
No, they don't play. Ford and West Caldwell?
Oh, that's right.
They don't play each other.
They don't play.
One of them would have to win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe
who
St.
Ford's gonna
Stephen's
be.
would be their
St.
best
Stephen's,
chance.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good. I really don't know either.
By the way, that quarterback at Nebraska, Rayola, I don't know if that's how you say it, but he had committed to Georgia. That's where Nebraska flipped him from.
Yeah, flipped him. Yep.
Ford's got North Iredell, West Iredell, and then they're not going to win these. Statesville, East Lincoln, North Lincoln, Hickory, and then St. Stephen's.
That's what Murderers Row there.
And North Iredale's 0-2. That could be a chance for a win.
Yeah, but North Iredell last night in the third quarter was leading Alexander Central. So
maybe their best shot is West Iredell.
Only time will tell. Only time will tell. Real quick here, speaking of Smoky Mountain, this is coming from Lenny. I heard that Cal Raleigh was approaching a milestone. He now currently has hit 88 home runs in his 4 years as a catcher, the second most dingers in the history for a catcher in their first 4 years. Mike Piazza holds the record with 92. With about 20 games left, that record is potentially breakable. He just passed Johnny Bench at 87. That's sitting with some very good company.
Mm-hmm.
My wife would call that useless information. Well, I would not. I'm glad to hear that information. I'm a big Cal Raleigh fan. I'm pulling for him. And he's up there with some big names, I can tell you that right now. He's up there with – he's a big guy, and he's up there with some big names. We're talking about 2 Hall of Famers that were mentioned.
He's out of Smoky Mountain.
The same. He is out of Smoky Mountain and Florida State University as a catcher. He's got to be the biggest catcher in the league. He is a hoss. Trying to remember what his size, just exactly how big he is, but I cannot. I was just going to look here real quick if I can find it.
Yeah, him and Burleson played each other last night.
Yeah.
Yep. Both of them went 1 for 3.
And I'm pretty sure they played against each other in high school, because I think East Lincoln and Smoky Mountain met 2 years in a row. And I know Raleigh was on the team because I saw him hit a home run from both sides of the plate in that one single game. So, but I'm still trying to make sure that Burleson was on the other side in that game. That was That was a baseball game where we went to Smoky Mountain. Mike, I don't remember if it was you with me or somebody else.
I don't recall going.
It might have been Rick.
Might have been.
But that's one of those times you go to the mountains, you always heard you can have 4 seasons in one day.
Mm-hmm.
We had all 4. It rained a little, it snowed a little, the sun come out, and it got hot. And we had everything up there on top of that mountain. And that I have been to Smoky Mountain to cover sports twice when it was snowing. Another time was basketball.
Yeah.
That's a really nice high school. What year was Smoky Mountain built and it took over?
Well, it was just
Silver Webster.
It was just expanded off the original Silver Webster campus.
Oh, was it? Is it
That's
at the same place?
Same place.
Okay, wasn't sure about that.
Mm-hmm.
Was not sure about that. Just real quick here, if I can find these. Mike let you know already that Duke beat Northwestern. That was double overtime last night.
Malik Murphy, the new quarterback, 242 yards passing for Duke.
Yeah.
Out of Texas.
Oh my! What happened here? I'm getting in. My screen just went blank because
the other 2 scores from last night. Then BYU beat SMU in a battle of acronyms, 18-15. New ACC team, SMU.
Yeah.
And
what was the other one? There was another game.
Indiana defeated Western Illinois 77-3.
So Texas today taking on Michigan in the Big House.
Yep.
Texas isn't going to embarrass them, are they?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Michigan struggled last week. Coming off a national title. Here's the thing for Michigan. They feel good for a while. They're not expecting to win back to back.
Yeah, the new coach. This is a cruise year.
Yep.
They're not going. Nope. The Michigan faithful aren't going to get upset if he goes 7-4.
No, they don't have the squad that they had last year. It's kind of a rebuilding year if you do that in college anymore. But I still think that he gets a pass this year. I would say for sure, but. Only time will
How about
tell.
Georgia Tech, Syracuse? Georgia Tech stunned some people with their, as we now know, Florida State maybe not very good at all.
I'm getting a Google alert here for some reason when I'm trying to click on something, congratulating me for something that I care nothing about. I can't get, when I X out of it, my whole screen goes blank. What's going on there? Some kind of virus?
Yep,
it wouldn't surprise me. Would not surprise me at all.
Just a lot of Notre Dame, Brett's team. They got looks like a laugher against Northern Illinois. We'll see.
But I hope it is, but I don't. I mean, Northern Illinois is not a
pretty good.
I thought Notre Dame's defense looked really good.
Yeah,
in the Texas A&M.
Seems like an elite defense for them.
In the Texas A&M.
How about this one? California at Auburn. California, the new ACC entry. South Carolina.
Auburn
Kentucky.
by 30. What's the spread?
I don't know.
No.
South Carolina, Kentucky, SEC matchup.
Don Revel says Dylan Rayola's dad played at Nebraska and 14 years in the NFL.
Aha.
And now he's on the
connection.
Coaching staff at Nebraska.
How about this one, guys? Charlotte at North Carolina. Is that the first time these 2 teams have met?
First one I remember.
At Kenan Stadium.
Yep, Texas, Michigan, Penn State, Bowling Green, Kansas State, Tulane, Oklahoma State, Arkansas, Georgia at Syracuse, Tennessee Tech. I feel bad for them today at Georgia. Of course, Georgia probably be on cruise control. It did the exact same thing to me here. I got through that many things, and then
here's a low-level ACC game, Virginia at Wake Forest.
Virginia at Wake Forest. Scott Connors gave me some information the other day where all these teams are ranked. Did you know Virginia is supposedly the lowest ranked team in the ACC in college football?
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, I know. I mean, what has happened there? What has happened to that program?
Haven't been able to find stability in coaching lately. One. My Sooners hosting Houston.
Hook says Carolina by a bunch over UNCC. Yes, they should.
Yeah. But they did lose their quarterback in the Minnesota game, correct, for the season?
I think so.
Max Johnson.
Yeah, Max Johnson. We got to take our final time out, and Mike has got lyrics to give us. So, Mike, what you got?
Oh, okay.
Then we got to come back with our NFL predictions.
Okay, I'll give you, just 2 lines? Is that I heard them
at the most.
I heard the men saying something. The captains tell they pay you well.
Yes, got it. Back in a moment.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
Sooner or later, everyone wants to make their home dreams a reality. I'm sure you've seen the television shows and flipped through magazines and you know what you want. Or then again, maybe you're not sure. You know that you want something different and something better. Get started today by contacting the building professionals at Key Builders in Lincoln. Visit the website at keybuildersnc.com and check out their many floor plans. There's one there for you and your family. Key Builders, locally owned and operated at 1459 North Aspen Street in Lincoln. See their page at whatsupshopper.com and like them on Facebook too.
Lake Electric Company was founded in 1984. They are licensed in North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and Virginia. Safety and quality is first in everything they do. For all your electrical needs, serving Lincoln County, Catawba County, Burke County, Mecklenburg County, and all the surrounding counties. When it has to be done right, call Lake Electric. Let them take care of your family. Lake Electric Company, 4362 Providence Mill Road, Maiden. Call 704-483-4000. Online at lakeelectric.com.
Stop by Lowe's Home Improvement in Lincolnton for their great deals on items you use around the house. Need to update around the kitchen? Then shop a great selection of appliances and some up to 30% off retail prices. Buy Craftsman's 20-volt max battery and get your choice of matching Craftsman cordless tool free. Update your workshop area with a wide selection of shop tools, only $99 each. But hurry, these deals won't last long. Shop Lowe's in Lincolnton for the things you want to buy today.
Century Drug in Boger City is the first pharmacy in the area to offer peace of mind for you, your caregivers, and for your family with a convenient poly pouch, strip pouch system, just like the one you've seen on TV. No more sorting through and keeping up with your multiple bottles of medication. No more filling daily reminder boxes. No more calling in meds and worrying about refills. You'll receive all your medications once a month in a box that dispenses a convenient, easy-to-open strip pouch that is perfectly labeled for breakfast, lunch, bedtime, etc. Century will be the link between you and your doctor to assure you that your medication profile is up to date and refillable. In other words, Century Drug will do all the work. You just take your medications and be healthy and happy. Call or come by for a visit today. 704-735-2551. Century Drug, East Main Street in Lincolnton.
Welcome back. Glad to have you with us. Final segment of the show this morning. Hooks, are you the only one that I got it right off the bat because I have seen the group in concert before. Read the lyrics one more time.
Oh, yeah, okay. I heard the men saying something. The captains tell they pay you well.
Yep, I got an answer from Hooks, and that's all. Unless let's see.
No Ned.
No Ned, no Lenny. but that is the point of no return by Kansas.
Right.
Yeah. Right off the bat here also says Hooks. Lenny says, talking about Cal Raleigh, they call him the Big Dumper. I was watching him on TV the other night. Looks like he has lost some weight, but he is still a big man. Yes, he is. A big guy. And you just hope the wear and tear on his knees, from being that big and catching every day.
Yeah, it's such a tough one.
Won't come into effect. NFL football got underway. Couple of really good games already to start. Last night, the Eagles beat the Packers. The final score was
31.
I couldn't remember the numbers.
34-29.
34-29, a one-possession win. And on Thursday night, the Chiefs defeated the Ravens. Everybody says a controversial play at the end. It wasn't controversial. I picked the Ravens to win. I'd like to see, my pick win, but it didn't happen. But it wasn't controversial. He was on the line. He was out of bounds.
Yeah.
And, so it was a close play. You can say that all you want to. It was a very close play. But the ruling was right. That one wasn't that hard to get right.
Can you name me a famous NFL player whose accent was always on shoes?
Billy.
Yep.
Johnson.
Billy White Shoes Johnson.
You know why they call him White Shoes?
Oh, yeah. Assume for the obvious reason.
Because he wore white shoes. Right? Mm-hmm. We don't see a lot of white shoes in the NFL this day and time, do we? We're going to give our NFL projections, who will be in the playoffs. Let's do it this way.
Well, I don't know how you did yours. Maybe I did mine differently, but anyway.
Well, we sent instructions.
Did you?
Yeah.
I thought you
Brett
just said
did.
Name my pick. Oh,
Brett sent them to you a week early, and I said just hold on to that, and we'll do college first, and then we'll do the.
It might have been the time when my phone. I lost my phone. I don't know.
Let's do it this way. We'll let you go first, Mike.
Okay.
Give us one of your AFC playoff teams.
Well, I went with division champs and wild card teams.
Give me one of your AFC playoff teams.
Baltimore Ravens.
Brett, do you have the Ravens?
Yes.
I do too. Brett, give me a pick.
Chiefs.
I have the Chiefs as well.
I have the Chiefs.
Houston Texans.
Yeah.
I have them.
Mike's turn.
Cincinnati Bengals.
I have the Bengals.
You got to give me a second. I'm trying to write these down. Yes, I have the Bengals.
So far, we all have named 4 teams.
All right.
We all have the same 4 teams. I'm going to guess that that's getting ready to get skewed a little bit.
Yeah, probably so.
I hope it does anyway. Whose turn is it?
I don't know.
Mike just went, so it's Brett's turn.
I'll just tell you, I've got the Jets winning the AFC East.
I have the Jets in the playoffs.
I do not have the Jets in the playoffs. I have the Buffalo Bills winning.
I have the Buffalo Bills.
I don't.
Brett does not have the Buffalo
Who
Bills.
had Jets in the playoffs?
I did.
Okay. And I have the Dolphins.
I have the Dolphins as well.
I do not have the Dolphins.
I do have a surprise that I don't think either one of you have, though. It says my final AFC team.
I have.
Well, guess what? I haven't given all of mine yet.
I hadn't either.
Okay.
So far, here we go. And I'm going to give you guys a chance as well. My 6 of the 7 are Kansas City, Baltimore, Houston, New York Jets, Cincinnati, Buffalo, and then I've got 1 yet to name. Now give your first 6, Mike, without the one that you haven't named.
Kansas City, Houston, Cincinnati, Buffalo Bills, Ravens, and Dolphins.
Brett?
Chiefs.
Your 6.
Chiefs, Ravens, Jets, Texans, Bengals, Dolphins.
Now the one that I have not given yet, and nobody else is named, are the Los Angeles Chargers under Jim Harbaugh.
Oh,
Me too.
I have the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I could see
as
that
a
happen.
wild card.
I could see that happen. Let's go to the NFC.
Right.
I have the Detroit Lions.
I have Detroit.
Brett?
I have Detroit.
Your turn, Mike.
I have my 49ers.
Yep.
He has his 49ers. I have the 49ers. Brett?
Yep. Atlanta Falcons.
I have the Atlanta Falcons in the playoffs.
I do not. I have the Eagles.
Nope. You didn't have to go there.
Okay.
It's not your turn yet.
Okay.
It's my turn.
All right.
All you had to do is say yes or no.
I do not.
Okay. Then I will steal yours and say I have the Eagles.
Yeah, I got the Eagles.
I have the Eagles.
Now it's Mike's turn to go first.
I have the Saints.
The New Orleans Saints.
That's odd, isn't it?
That is very odd. That is very odd.
I don't.
They have a coach I cannot get them to the playoffs. I'll just say that right now. And they have Derek Carr at quarterback, which doesn't help a lot either. Brett does not have them. I do not have them. Brett, it's your turn to say.
I've got the Cowboys.
I do have the Cowboys.
I have the Cowboys.
Okay, that's a clean sweep. Is it my turn to give one now? I have the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, I do too.
I do too.
Okay, Mike?
I have the Rams.
This should be your last one, right? This should be.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's my
this
last
is the last one.
Yeah.
The Rams.
Brett?
I don't have the Rams.
I do have the Rams. I do have the Rams.
So my last one is Seattle.
Seattle.
Oh.
Seattle. A nice turn. Now, we get to debate this a little bit. Who is your AFC championship game? Give me one team. One team, Mike.
Texans.
The Texans in the AFC championship. Brett?
Texans.
Texans in the AFC. I cannot agree with either one of you.
Oh.
I do not have them. I'm going to state the obvious here. The Kansas City Chiefs. I bet you guys also have the Chiefs, but do you?
I have the Chiefs.
Yep. I have the Chiefs versus the Texans.
So the only thing different is I've got to tell you who in my pick who the Chiefs are playing, and it's a repeat of last year. It's the Baltimore Ravens.
Well, that's logical.
So I have the Ravens and the Chiefs in my AFC championship. Let's go to the NFC championship. Who wants to go first? Brett?
I've got the 49ers.
Okay. I do not.
I'll go with the Lions.
So you don't have the 49ers
I
either.
do.
That's what then you just totally screwed it up. Start again, Brett. You got the 49ers.
Yes.
I do not have the 49ers.
I do have the 49ers.
Mike does have the 49ers. Now, I have to tell you who I have in place of your 49ers, most likely, in my championship game.
Green Bay.
I'm going to say, you don't know that's who I've got in place of the Niners.
No, I'm just
but I will say Green Bay. And who else has Green Bay?
I did until last night.
Yeah. I do, as long as they don't come back and tell me Love is going to miss 6 weeks to the full season. Then I can't take them. I have to plug somebody else in. But I have the Packers, and you guys do not?
No.
Nope.
Okay. So you got 49ers versus who, Brett?
Lions.
49ers and Lions.
I
Mike
do
Powell?
too. 49ers versus Lions.
And I have the Green Bay Packers. Golly, we are totally off here. Green Bay Packers versus the Los Angeles Rams in the NFC Championship. Go ahead and give me both your Super Bowl teams, Mike, because I know you're going to anyway.
Lions and Chiefs.
Not Lions, Tigers, and Bears?
I also have Lions and Chiefs.
And I have neither.
Oh, the oddity.
I have neither. I have the Ravens. Who you got winning?
I've got the Lions stopping the Chiefs, 31-27 from winning it
Brett?
3 times in a row.
I've got the Chiefs.
Chiefs winning the third straight. I have the Baltimore Ravens getting over the hump and defeating the Los Angeles Rams in the Super Bowl.
Why are you so high on the Rams?
I think they're going to be – they have the best coach, if one of the top 5 coaches, I'll put it that way. In football, I thought they came on strong last year toward the end of the season, and I just think they're ready for a title run. I think they're ready for a title run.
You don't think their QB is starting to get a little long in the tooth?
Tom Brady was 57 when he won his last Super Bowl, wasn't he, or something like that. Right. So, Matthew Stafford.
Yeah.
Any of these teams, if their quarterback goes down, you're probably going to just have to erase them off your sheet.
That's why I went ahead and I had Green Bay in the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even know what Jordan Love's injury is, but it scared me enough
So there's
to
left
take him
leg
out.
injury is what I'm seeing on ESPN.
Well, is it still attached? I mean, that could be very random to say a left leg injury. I mean, we need to, how severe of a left leg injury. Let's see a couple things here. Ned says, remember Haywood County post 47 baseball sort of showed up when Raleigh played, and after that they retired his number 10 jersey. Haywood Legion baseball sort of went away. Lenny says this is UNC's first actual game with UNC Charlotte. They were going to play in 2020, but it was a COVID year.
Mm-hmm.
Charlotte had an outbreak the week of the game, and it was canceled. Hooks says the Raiders. So he's got the Raiders. I don't know if that's his Super Bowl pick or not, but if it is, he is going out on a very delicate limb.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to see it.
Who's the Raiders QB? I can't think.
Gardner Minshew.
That's right. The stash.
And Hook says, wow, your Super Bowl picks are interesting. And then he says under it, no. I don't know if that means no, he don't agree with me. Or I think he's telling me no, that's not his Super Bowl pick, the Raiders. That maybe he's just we know Rodney Willis would be picking the Raiders. We know Steve K will be picking the Cowboys. Actually, Steve probably wouldn't pick the Cowboys, but I still think the Cowboys get to the playoffs. I'm not sure they can compete. No on the Raiders, he says. Hooks. It would be good to see the Raiders get back in contention. It's just certain teams. Me and Mike always talk about football's better, NFL's better when, because you have so many Raider fans nationwide, Packer fans nationwide, Cowboy fans nationwide, Steeler fans nationwide. It just
I think it'd be good if
draws a lot
the
of
Redskins were relevant again.
Well, that'll never happen, I don't think. The Commanders, though, have a really good shot.
Yeah.
This year.
Yep.
I think, honestly,
The
I have
Commanders, I'm
seen more predictions this year for the Commanders to finish ahead of the Cowboys in the standings than the Cowboys to finish ahead of. Now, it's not more because more people are picking the Eagles, I think, to win the division. But most people have Washington second and Dallas third.
And I have the Commanders QB as my backup at quarterback in the fantasy league I'm in with members of my family.
And the poor old Giants. I don't know what's going on there. What is going on in that organization? This is the last year that help me with the head coach. He's in his last year. Daboll. I'm sure this is his last year unless he pulls out some kind of miracle. They let their best player, their franchise, the face of the franchise, get away and go to the rival up the road.
Well, that's what gets me.
Or down the road.
The rival.
I mean, I just can't. Mike Painter says Hooks is a Chief fan. Let's take the easy way out.
I didn't mind them letting Saquon go.
You thought that was a good move for him?
I wouldn't say it's a good move.
Just because of the money?
But I don't think it was a real bad move.
What did they get? I mean, or they just let him go?
It's free agent.
Free agent,
yeah.
Right.
They got nothing.
Nothing. Zero. They have Daniel Jones back, and I don't know.
I don't know if the Giants will run for 3 touchdowns this year. Saquon ran for 3 last night.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think he would have done that week 1 if he's with the Giants?
No.
And their offense?
I do not.
Because Philadelphia has one of the best offensive
I don't
lines.
blame him at all.
That's what I'm saying. I don't blame the Giants. I don't think Saquon was that much of a difference maker with the Giants.
Yeah. But he could be.
The Eagles are loaded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the front is one of the best in the league.
Yeah. You can't just defend him when with the Eagles. If he's on the Giants team, you can just basically defend him. Now they did draft a really good receiver. It looks like, is it Neighbors?
Yeah,
the one they got out of LSU. LSU receivers have set the standard here lately.
What do you guys think of the Kansas City rookie receiver? I mean, people are starting to compare him to.
Had 2 touchdown catches in his first game ever, and he became the 13th player to ever score on the first time he touched the ball in the NFL, which, useless information, but it's pretty neat. What's his name, and where's he out of?
Worthy.
Worthy.
What's his first name?
He is Worthy.
I'm not sure where he went to.
Texas, wasn't it?
Was it Texas?
I think so.
Oh, yeah, it is. He was really good in college. I remember him. Let's see. With sublimation players, cleats, and the like the band shoe photo I sent you. Can have almost any design versus black or white. That's Ned talking about those Carolina shoes again that Mike and Brett have already ordered a pair of. Mike Painter is a Dallas Cowboy fan. Is what I'm taking it. They're taking shots at each other, and they're not fans of those particular teams that they're mentioning. Thank you, Hooks. Good show as usual. Have a great weekend is what he says. We've got college football today. Big day of NFL tomorrow. Can't wait for that to kick off and crank up the old red zone like I like to do on Sunday afternoons, and just let the TV take automatic remote control. Takes you around the league the entire day. And if it misses a score and play, it shows it to you in a replay.
So you just stay on the red zone?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. To me, as a football fan in general and just loving the whole game, there's nothing better.
Okay.
There's nothing better than the red zone.
I don't have it.
Just keep switching. You're too tight, Mike. Rick Mitchum's got it. Oh, listen at him. I got my doubts Rick Mitchum has it either. But
I don't think he stays home long enough to watch.
Real quick here, it says Jordan Love helped off the field after apparent leg injury. Reading just a little bit here on ESPN. Packers quarterback finished the opener couldn't finish the opener. It was one play left, right, and then the backup had to come in.
Yeah.
And take care of it. So, don't know. It really don't say any details about whether they'll have him back or not. We got to run. Thanks for tuning in this morning. Appreciate all the listeners, all the feedback, all the input as we do each and every week. For Mike, Brett, Sullivan, I'm David. We'll see you next week on Sports Talk.